Very good morning, Zimbabwe. Mamukase, Mamukase, Mamukase. Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. My name is Ronald Wekomakusha. So it said that Rutendo Matinyarare had to celebrate the death of Dr. Nembaware. Yesterday we talked about the death of Dr. Nembaware and Rutendo. Then went on to actually celebrated the death of Dr. Nembaware. So this is Rutendo Matinyarare's Twitter handle, and he went on to actually say something. He says, according to UN Human Rights Council report released at UNGA in 2022, since illegal sanctions were imposed on Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwean budget for healthcare was reduced from 10.8% of the GDP to 7%, yet the AU target is 15%. No, but vacancy rates for doctors are 69%, 61% for trauma nurses, and 69% for midwives. He says farmers carry 39% of essential medicines. He says the government can't buy life-saving medicines and machines because Eastern and Western medical suppliers fear secondary sanctions by the US, and some banks refuse to transfer payments to medical suppliers, fearing penalties, secondary sanctions, and criminal prosecution by the US Treasury. And I have some questions. Rutendo is not being honest here. If you take a look on the issue of having 7% of the GDP being given to the healthcare, it's not because of sanctions. It's failure by the ministries, by the Ministry of Finance to actually finance the health sector. It's more like deliberate. If we take a look on how they finance the other useless ministries in Zimbabwe and fail to finance key ministries like Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, it's almost deliberate because they have a perception equity doctors and nurses don't like them. And they have a perception equity the most people who use is my urban hospitals, people from the urban centers all the time. So they don't care about upgrading the health system because it's a way of trying to punish citizens. That is the honest reality which is there. Secondly, if we take a look on the issue of the government failing to buy life-saving medicines and machines, it's not true. Because if these sanctions were there, the first people who were supposed to be sanctioned are the health centers who accept ZANU PF leaders who go abroad for medical attention. Those are the first people who are supposed to be sanctioned. If those hospitals and people are not sanctioned, then it means they can actually bring supplies and machines to Zimbabwe. I have seen this argument for a very long time, but remember that we have private hospitals in Zimbabwe. Private hospitals in Zimbabwe, they have cancer treatment machines, but the public hospitals we have, they don't have. The question is, if there are sanctions, why is it that the private sector is allowed to have, but the public sector is not allowed to have? It's a matter of making money. Who owns these private facilities with cancer treatment machines? They are elites within the government. So they do it deliberately so as to make everyone to be treated cancer to go to the private sector. It's a deliberate move. Secondly, they don't even care. Take a look on parliamentary portfolio committees, which Honorable Caston Mattel was once part of. He asked why the RBZ said a Land Cruiser was around 400,000, yet a Croco employee was saying theirs were around 120,000. So if you take a look onto that and agree that a Land Cruiser does not cost 400,000. You see that it's not about having problems to procure machines. It's about deliberate actions by those in charge, not to purchase, so that they divert funds for other things. Mari vanayo, mari iri kudyiwa semushonga wemusana. That is the honest truth. They can buy luxurious cars. I have never seen a plant which manufactures cars in Zimbabwe. They import these cars from Europe. They import these cars from the Eastern region. But when it comes to medical issues, they say we are sanctioned. Why is it that sanctions are not being placed on the same companies which are selling them cars, which are selling them good things? Go to their houses and mansions they are building. Everything is being imported from other countries, from Europe, from Eastern countries. But when it comes to the health sector and health supplies, they put a blame on sanctions, and that is wrong. So, are sanctions driving those in authority, those in government to steal? That is something very important. So he says here, as a result of the above realities, we are told the Mutare General Hospital does not have ICU equipment and staff to save the young doctor. The staff was there, but the ICU equipment was not there. And he says, additionally, the hospital did not have a helipad or ground lights to lend a medical helicopter to transfer the doctor. It's not about it's not about the hospital having a helipad. It's about the airport in Mutare not having a helipad or not having landing lights, which could allow a helicopter to actually land at night in Mutare. He could have been transported by ambulance to the airport, then airlifted to Harare. So you see that these people are not being honest enough in terms of this issue. Everything, instead of them addressing the issue as it is, they go on to blame other things. So personally, no matter the position on sanctions, those in authority must show that they are willing to actually bring change. So it's said that he was asked several times here by people why he is actually saying so, and he went on to insult. So how can you say this doctor deserved to die? You know, sometimes you wonder what kind of people we have in the nation of Zimbabwe. You wonder kuti vana Rutendo pfungwa dzavo chaidzo chaidzo dzakambomira sei. Is he somebody who can reason or who can't? You know, countries like Russia, they're under sanctions, Iran, North Korea, but they are doing some things for their citizens. But here in Zimbabwe, you actually have nonsense each and every time. You actually have people justifying their evil because of of propaganda and just the need yekuti vange vachidya mari. Unoziva kuti vana Rutendo found out that it was difficult for him to make money in South Africa. Then he devised a plan and started all these anti-sanctions chakadaro. And he started making videos, and those videos gained traction. And then he comes to actually mock others. This is a doctor who does have a family who is bereaving, but you go and insult that family. You go and say akafa because of my sanctions, and you don't even show remorse. You don't even care. So, expose themselves. Zimbabwe has been given so much aid, has been given a lot by other countries, but they don't even appreciate, they don't even care. Because what they care about is propaganda after propaganda, propaganda after propaganda. So the air ambulances are there. Why did they purchase these air ambulances at 300 million if they couldn't fix the helipads at hospitals? Landing lights angada mari per hospital, because you just need an open space. Motoisa lights yenyu so kana ered kana ichi, they are just put in place to demarcate munhu vanyatsoona this is an open space inogona kulendeka so kana malaiti kuti zvinonyadzisa kunzwa zvichitaurwa so. They were busing people to rallies, using money, paying my chicken slice and everything else. How much is that money? If they had invested this money into the healthcare, into the health sector, we would have seen change. We would have seen better things. But they don't even care. So when it comes to their rallies, they don't point out to sanctions. But then they throw tantrums and sanctions everywhere. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. My heart is bleeding. How can you say this? Somebody just died because of negligence by those in charge, and you go on to blame them. How can somebody be evil to such an extent? That is the reason why they don't care about us. That is the reason why they steal elections. That is the reason why they do everything without remorse. Is because they've been benefiting for a very long time, and they are actually doing this for the sake of their own pockets. Rutendo was clear that he loves making money, and what he's doing is making money at the expense of the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe. But one day, I believe and I know that one day, it will catch up with him. One day, these people who are celebrating mediocrity, they will understand the reason why we are saying it's wrong for this government to actually neglect its own people for the sake of their own selfish reasons. It is what it is. They're driving nice cars. It has never worked anyway to warrant him to drive such cars, but they're doing it because they are the beneficiaries of the chaos we have in Zimbabwe. So, amen. Kuti guys, munofungei nazvo. Everything is blamed on the opposition, is blamed on others, and is saying that these are very important tweets which I need to bring to you right here. Okay, and the helicopters had nowhere to land because there's no lighting at Mutare Hospital, which is run by Triple C. Thanks to your sanctions, young man is dead. How can you say that, guys? Honestly speaking, how can you say that? In a normal country, this won't happen. In a normal Zimbabwe, this won't happen. This nonsense won't happen. And This doesn't change the fact that ambulance helicopters had nowhere to land because there's no lighting at Mutare Hospital. Which is, what about the airport? Okay, you have put the blame on Triple C. What about the airport? When did the Triple C started to run these councils? And you say you are actually celebrating that somebody's dead. It's shameful. Honestly, it's shameful. If this government was serious, they would have improvised. And if these people had placed each and every ambulance in a provinces, including Harare Metropolitan and Bulawayo Metropolitan, which means they could have put 10 ambulances in each province, which means this ambulance was supposed to be at Mutare Provincial Hospital or somewhere close by, so that it serves during emergency times. But it was not there. If it was in Mutare, it would have airlifted this doctor, but it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And you hear somebody actually saying this, pane imwe tikiti yanondirwadza so izvi ndezvekusvotesa ukatarisa is just repeating zviri zvekusvotesa so kusvotesa. And was this doctor a supporter of Triple C? Nobody knows, but he supported because there is nothing suggesting that he was part of politics. And you hear someone saying this. Okay, I don't know, guys, what you think, but and this guys, he kept on repeating, and he kept on repeating something which is so painful. And he is continuously saying the young man is dead. Yay. Okay. So ndozvairi Zimbabwe yacho, guys. This is how arrogant these people are, and we are going nowhere as a country. So Simba, thank you very much. Tafadzwa, thank you very much. Okay, Tafadzwa, we had a program yesterday where we talked about this doctor. This doctor had an accident, and after that accident, he was supposed to be airlifted to Harare. The road medical ambulance service was not working, so they had to airlift him to Harare, and they failed to do so, despite having 18 plus ambulances, air ambulances, which were delivered from Russia. They failed. So Rutendo then goes on to insult and to celebrate the death of this doctor. It's shameful. So guys, thank you very much for the contributions. Thank you very much for coming. Let us meet in other episodes as well as other broadcasts.